We lost the raccoon.
Oh,
No, there we go.
We got the raccoon back.
Lovely.
We're sneaky. We pop in and out.
So how's it going, Boomer? Got any food crimes? Or other crimes to admit to?
So, my entire diet is food crimes. I don't eat plants if I can avoid it. Like, there are some fruit that are okay, and I really like bread, but that's just because there's enough steps between the ground and it being, like, abused before I eat it. You, like, grind it up and you bake it, and that's okay. Like, vegetables, you only do, like, one thing to them, and they've still got, like, plant texture. Not for me. I live off of bread, meat, and cheese, so everything I eat is a food crime.
So what about broccoli and cheese soup? Could you do it?
Depends on the balance in it, but generally, no.
See, 'cause I see, like, I love broccoli, and I see the cheese as a medium by which to get the broccoli into me even faster.
Oh, it's
So-
just like lubricant.
In a manner of speaking, yeah. Yeah. So I just thought that maybe broccoli and cheese soup would be like the perfect thing. You know, you've taken broccoli, you've steamed it, you've ground it up, you've like added cheese to it and whatever else you add to it to make it soup, and then you have that because it'd be like, well, it just tastes like cheese then, right?
I mean, if you completely and totally puree the broccoli so that there's no definable chunks of broccoli, it might be okay. I have only once in my life eaten food that I could detect the vegetable in, and I didn't just like inherently think that that was the primary flaw of the dish. And that was because
What else was wrong with it?
No, it was fantastic. It was wonderful food. It was crepes cooked. It was spinach sautéed in garlic butter with ground beef and then wrapped up in a crepe, and it was the only time I've ever actively liked a vegetable, and no one has been able to replicate that for me.
No. Have you tried Kraft dinner made from cauliflower?
So I've tried a couple of the things where they use cauliflower to replace normal carbs, and usually the texture and the flavor isn't. Maybe if somebody tried to like sneak it into my food, I wouldn't notice, but when I'm aware that someone's trying to trick me into eating a plant, I'm just like, yeah, no.
Or just yourself trying to trick yourself into eating a plant?
Yeah. It's the frog and toad thing of like, I could force myself to do this adult thing with this rule, but I could just open the box and eat the cookies. I could just not put cauliflower in my mashed potatoes.
All right.
Beach recommendation for you next time you have broccoli cheddar soup. Roast the heck out of some broccoli and put it on top like croutons.
Yeah, right.
That's a great idea.
Holy
We've
crap.
also like added like chili to ours, like chili flakes or like other chili accessories. But
Yum.
Hey,
Yeah.
Molly. I got my tea. What did I miss?
Not much.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Food crimes.
Yeah. Were you guys talking about roasting broccoli? That is my favorite food hack.
It was on top
Put
of
it on
broccoli
everything.
cheese soup.
Yeah.
Use it like a crouton. It's a good thing.
I like that idea. Because you could probably, I guess, do the same thing. You could roast cauliflower for that same kind of effect.
I mean, I'm basically just a fan of if it's a cruciferous vegetable, roast the heck out of it.
Oh, God. So we were making curry. And I never put cauliflower in my Japanese curry before. And
Oh, but so good.
And so what happens is whenever I make something, I can roll back in time here and give you an example of what I tend to do, because I do this a lot, is that I always tend to start putting something in, and then the next time I make it, I put in a little more, and the next time I make it, I put in some more, and then eventually you get to a point where
Then he finds the over.
I've gone too far, because it's all an exploration. And then it's like, now I have to pull back, and the earliest example of this that really reminds me of that is when a friend of mine showed me that you could add blue cheese to, like chunks of blue cheese to your tomato sauce when you're making pasta. And I was like, oh, that's actually really nice, because that little bit of blue cheese adds like a very adult flavor. It's like adding red wine to sauces, right? You're like, oh yes, it's a very grown-up thing that I'm doing with it. And I don't really like blue cheese overall.
Oh.
But, so I add like a bit of blue cheese, and then the next time I made pasta sauce, it's like tomato sauce, I added twice as much. And the next time I made it, I just dumped in an entire wedge kind of thing. And it just got to a point where then all I could taste was blue cheese in the sauce, and it was overwhelming. And I was just like, why have I been doing this? I kept putting in more because I'm like, no, I love the flavor of it, so I want to have more, I want to have more. I want it to really like stand out and be really good, and no. So the most recent thing with cauliflower in the curry was take an entire cauliflower, bust it up into small florets, and then throw that in while the cauliflower is steeping, for want of a better word, while it's actually while it's in its simmer phase, right? And then one time I left it because I'm like, it's simmering, it's fine. I come back after about 20 minutes, 30 minutes of it simmering, and all the cauliflower is gone. And is reduced into the rest of the dish, and I'm like, oh no. And we had it, it was very good, it was very thick, and it was delicious, but there was no cauliflower in it anymore. It had all just been subsumed by everything else. And so now it's like, make bigger florets, put it in on top, let it steam for a bit, don't let it go too long. Like, I had to get to a point where I was like, I've messed this up entirely.
Beach, I have a question about your curry recipe. Do you use a specific roux? Do you make it from scratch? I'm super curious because as someone who's only made the S&B curry, which I love because it's a little less sweet and I prefer that, but I'm super curious about your curry recipe.
We tried Glico, we tried S&B, we tried Vermont curry. I've tried another one as well that we have up here, and we've just settled in S&B medium hot.
Yeah, we attempted curry roux 3 times, I think.
Several times we've done it, yes.
And it was soup.
Yeah.
It was not curry when it was done.
It's never come together.
It was tasty, but it was not. It was not the thickness in which you want a curry to be.
And then we tried Thai curries for a while.
Yeah.
We were doing that with the coconut milk and everything else. I'm like, this is really fun. But no matter what, I could never find a Thai curry roux starter that was mild enough that also still had a lot of flavor. And that was the problem. Is it's just, even the one you buy from the store, the yellow curry thing you buy from ROD, whatever it is. I was just like, it's still too much for me.
I have torn off somewhere in my office, just for inspiration, the bottom of a placemat at a Korean restaurant that had a little, decoder for their menu, scale of 0 to 4 peppers. And the 1 pepper was mild, medium, hot, spicy, or something like that. And then 0 peppers was white.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Huh.
Yeah. I went, tag yourself. I'm white.
One of the magic events that we held here, afterwards we went to an Indian place downtown, and almost everyone except for me ordered butter chicken super mild. And the waiter, you hear him go back into the kitchen and he yells, 7 number 1s.
Yep.
But it was just like that. That was the order.
Yeah. Okay. I had curry. Ian made curry last week, chicken with the Glico stuff, and we had just a bit left over, and he was reading online what to do with it, and ended up making a curry soup with it, but with udon inside.
Oh, okay.
And that was great. It was udon with little potato chunks in it. It's great.
That's awesome.
That sounds very good.
I've just been making cacio e pepe recently because it's just really simple, and sometimes you just basically want buttered noodles, but not plausibly not buttered noodles.
Right.
Vaguely adult mac and cheese.
Yes. Yeah, just vaguely adult mac and cheese. And then I put garlic in it once, and people were like, now you have completely ruined the simplest possible dish. I don't know how you did that, but you've ruined it. I don't know what it is anymore.
It's like when I
congratulations.
frozen vegetables, frozen peas, and do an egg drop in my instant ramen.
Going back a step to the ordering spicy at restaurants. I love spicy food, and so when I go get curry and stuff like that, I was as hot as possible, and they're always like, yeah, sure, I'm like, no, really, no, really, I know I'm white. So the phrase that I have found is really helpful is authentically spicy, please, and they're like, okay, you're not just trying to puff your chest, you're like, I'm actually interested in what you have to offer, and it usually works out pretty well.
Yeah, how would your cooks prepare it for themselves?
Yeah, precisely.
I'm a total spice wuss. If someone looks at me when I'm ordering food and is like, she is white, we give her nothing, they are correct.
Is anyone else here a fan of Hot Ones,
No,
the YouTube show?
not
Oh,
really.
is that the
wings?
one where they feed celebrities?
10 progressively
Increasingly
spicier
spicy
wings.
Right. And
Yeah,
that's the one where what's his name almost died.
Idris Elba.
No, he was in
Several.
he was in Thor. He's
Chris
the handsomest
Hemsworth?
man. He was also
Chris
in
Hemsworth,
no different.
Tom Hiddleston.
No,
A different Hemsworth.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Key and Peele. Kristen Bell.
The bad guy in Thor Ragnarok. Why can't I remember his
No.
name?
I know what's he.
Jeff Goldblum.
no.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Leave
I
poor
guess
Cam
that's
alone.
James Wood.
No. But he just has this amazing expression where he like eats it and he looks betrayed. Idris Elba. It was
Yeah,
Idris
that's-
Elba.
That was the first. That was the first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
So they sell those sauces, and so they were actually sold out of one of them. But the person I was dating at the time found one of their old bottles of their original sauce that they made, and it came doubled with their like. I don't think it was the scorpion pepper one, but like the last dab hottest sauce they had at that time when this was made. And I got like I don't know, like a quarter of a bottle left. Like I've put it on some things. Like it's pretty good. Like that's the level that I really like spice.
It is.